Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. We are having fun tonight. Really unprecedented on a Monday, just because we had to make our schedules work. And I'll do it for anybody, especially the man and one of the most brutal, heavy guitarists to birth out of the Lone Star State. Brings me great pleasure after quite some time to have the man, Metal Mike Deleon, here in the Rob's MetalWorks studio. Finally, sir, what a great honor it is to have you here.
Ay, ay, ay. Woo!
Here you go, my man.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, brother.
Finally, at the Rob's MetalWorks studios. It's been, next month, 26 years in
Holy
the making,
smokes.
man.
And you're here. You're here.
Here, man. And,
all right.
It's a huge feat for myself to be here in the studio. I've been here for the last hour checking the spot out. I've been a fan of Rob's since I was a teenager.
Oh, God.
And seeing him interview all my favorite, dudes growing up. So to be here sitting with the guy is definitely, a dream come true and a heavy metal feat, man. So cheers and thanks for having me, as I like to say, on a Metal Monday.
On a Metal Monday.
Metal Monday.
Wow,
man.
yeah.
Great. It's good, man.
Mike, we have lots of ground to cover. And, before we get started, I want to say that, I know how humble of a guy you are and what a good human being you are. And I appreciate, your humility. But you have also accomplished so many things. And that's why you're here on the show, bro, because I'm a fan of yours and I admire, the fact that you kind of have come out of obscurity and really become this prominent guitarist in our scene and also on the national scene, the worldwide scene. And, you're one of the best players. And I think one of the things that I love about you, bro, is like you totally prop the fucking Hispanic background that you have, that you're Latino, you're Mexican American from here in Texas, and I can see that in a lot of things that you do. But again, lots of respect for you, man. And with this interview, I remember when I first started thinking about this interview, which has been at least a couple of years now that I've been thinking about getting you on the show and wanting to get you on the show. I kind of wanted to make it this interview where we kind of focus really not just on one particular thing that you're doing, but really kind of like to talk about you as an artist and your whole kind of career. So let's start at the fucking beginning, okay? I know that you currently live in San Marcos.
I am born and raised.
Oh, I was going to ask you that. That was my question. Like, are you originally from there?
I honestly am born and raised an hour from here in San Marcos, Texas.
Wow.
And I love it because I go around the world and people ask me where you're from. And I tell them I'm from this little town in Texas called San Marcos. And I say it's between San Antonio and Austin. And I say I get metal both cities.
Oh, yeah.
And I said it's a great spot because I got 30 minutes this way and 30 minutes that way. So it's a good central location for myself, but born and raised in Texas. And honestly, I love San Marcos and I rep my hometown. And every time I travel the world, but I come home back into my town, it's like it could be any time of day, but driving into San Marcos is always like just it feels back at home, and that's where I'm from, and it's good to travel, but I always like to rep my hometown, and San Marcos is where I'm from, man.
Isn't that where the guy from Blue October's from?
Yes, Justin from Blue
Justin
October.
Furstenfeld.
Yes, I just ran into Justin about 2 weeks ago at the HEB in San Marcos.
Oh, really?
And I see him around town often.
Yeah.
But I've never introduced myself. About 2 weeks ago, we were in the ice cream aisle, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go up and I'm going to get a selfie with this cat.
Yeah.
Just being a metalhead. And, Blue October being on the radio, you hear their songs.
Yeah.
And we're both from the same hometown. So I just wanted to go up, introduce myself, and we hit it off real cool. And much love to the Blue October cats.
Yeah,
man, for sure,
I love
man.
Blue October. I actually interviewed Blue October. I think it was in 2017 or 16. But that was back then. That was back in the day when he was still crazy. Yeah, he was still drugging and shit, and he was heavy, and he was upset about and hating the world.
Oh man.
Yeah, different time. But
Yes,
he's a totally different person now.
Yeah, he was with his kiddo. He was
Yeah.
You know, laid back doing his thing. But you can tell, you know, with his tattoos and you know, he's been, you know, he's had a wild life, man, and you know, he's holding it down, and they're still doing their thing. So, you know, it was cool cat, and yeah, San Marcos homie for sure.
So, you know, you mentioned, you know, I had the kind of the best of both worlds at Austin in San Antonio. When did you first start getting into music? Not necessarily heavy music, just music in general.
Oh man!
Or how did that happen?
All right, let's take it back right here.
Yeah, I want to take it back.
Here. And I'm gonna give much love, like a lot of musicians do, to their mother and their father, man. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing the music, man.
For sure.
They were really introducing me to music at a very, very young age. And I got to go see my first concert, my first live concert at the age of 4. And it was 1986, April 16th, 1986.
Oh, my God.
We went to go see Stevie Wonder, man, at the Frank Irwin Center
What?
in Austin, Texas.
Wow.
And at 4 years old, I remember seeing Stevie and his band, and I remember Stevie being in this really cool red jacket, and I was just like, man, and he was there just laying it down, man, and it was amazing, you know what I mean? And that was show 1. Same year, a couple months later, December the 12th, 1986, my pops took me to see Cinderella and David Lee Roth. And David Lee Roth had the all-star lineup of
Steve Vai.
And then Billy Sheehan.
Yep.
And then Greg Bissonette. And I was 4 years old seeing Steve Vai on that double harp guitar. And I'm telling you, I was just eating it up as a kid, man. Just eating it and seeing live music and seeing.
Who was headlining? Was Cinderella headlining?
No, Cinderella was opening.
Oh, okay. Was it Tom Kiefer was opening up?
Yeah, Cinderella.
Yeah.
And they were on top of the world.
Oh,
you know
fuck
what I mean?
yeah. I used to love Cinderella.
Yeah. I was jamming them the other day.
Keep that on the DL.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it was Cinderella,
Sure.
David Lee Roth, and I'm telling you, after that, it was just on and on and on, concert after concert. So music was in my life at a very young age, and picking up the guitar was just, you know, having my dad's acoustic guitar right there, and then at 8 years old, getting my first electric guitar from the pawn shop, and then at 12 years old, taking some lessons, and then at 15 years old, getting an amp, and then at 18, 17 years old, 16 years old, starting a band, and it's just been music all my life, man. That's all I know, man. That's all I know, and you know, and weed and music, I like to say. Man, have some fun and jam some tunes, man.
Yeah.
So music has always been there, man. It's always been there.
When did the metal get into your life? Like, because, you know, when I introduced you, I said, you know, one of the most brutal, heaviest guitar players ever. You know, you like, you know, I've heard all your stuff, you know, with Flesh Hoarder and Disfigured, and obviously the stuff that you do with Phil. It's really, really heavy stuff. So, I mean, I know a lot of death metal guys. I've interviewed a lot of death metal guys in my career. And, you know, some of these guys, some of them, are like total purists. Like, if you don't listen or love death metal, there's not anything aside from death metal.
Metal,
that's all there is. And, you know, some of these guys who were so into it, and when I think about you in the early part of your career, I was like, man, you know, Mike must have been into the really heavy shit when he was coming up. So when you first started getting into like metal music, what bands were you jamming to, and what did you want to do? Like, I grew up in the thrash era, so I love thrash. You do a lot of death metal stuff. So was that kind of your genre when you were coming up?
I mean, I was into everything coming up. From Santana to Aerosmith to Cannibal Corpse. I was into everything, which was great because, you know, coming to Texas, all the bands were hitting the Austin, Texas, San Antonio scene. Yeah. So it was really cool to eat it all up. But I would say probably about 1996 when Cannibal Corpse got introduced into my life is when the metal really took over. I was already jamming, Megadeth, and I was jamming Metallica, so metal was there. You know? But I was still jamming Van Halen, and I was still jamming Joe Perry, you know what I mean, and Aerosmith. But about 96, 97, one of my buddies, Jimmy, said, "Bro, you want to go see Cannibal Corpse?"
And you have a Cannibal Corpse shirt on tonight.
Yeah. We're repping the homies, man, for sure. And now they're friends, Now they're friends, man. And so it's
the
much
Corpse
love.
Grinder.
Oh, dude,
Alex,
the coolest cats, man. And but back then, just being a sophomore in high school, and it was a Friday night, and going to see the Gallery of Suicide tour in '97 at the White Rabbit in San Antonio, Texas, man. And so many historic shows there. But
I think I was there at that show shooting it.
Yeah, it was.
I think
it was a great night. Them and Angel Corpse, and it was
and Angel Corpse. Yeah, I was there.
It was a wild night, and from then on, the brutality really entered my life, and then I knew that I was destined for something along those lines, and I entered right into it. And death metal, thrash metal was with me, and I just took it and ran, man, as they say. So I took it and just ran with it, as they say, man.
Wow, that's cool. So obviously the brutality of Cannibal Corpse, kind of like, even though they were the first band, kind of opened the doors for you into that kind of genre. And so was that kind of like, after Cannibal, was that kind of like your main go-to now? Were you looking and researching all these death metal bands that were out there? And most of them at that time were kind of like from the Florida area. Yeah, most of them had like Death.
Yeah, some New York death metal bands. But yeah, that's exactly what I did. I just started delving into it. It was the gateway, as they say. I got into Cannibal Corpse, and then Morbid Angel. Yep. And then, Suffocation.
Yeah.
And then, Death, just all the bands, man. Incantation, Immolation.
Yeah.
I was really getting into the really, really underground. Mortician. You know what I mean?
Oh God.
Yeah,
Mortician.
like let's brutal death. I can go on and on and on, man.
Nile,
Skinless, 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
And then Texas had a really good death metal scene. Especially at this time in my life, I started discovering all the bands from that day, like Gourd and Putrilage.
Yeah.
And
that dude Aaron Mendiola?
Oh, that's one of my bros.
Yeah,
right there.
dude, Aaron Mendiola. I remember.
Shout out to the Gore Growler.
Yeah, the
man.
Gore Growler. Yeah,
yeah,
he's been here. Yeah.
Oh, awesome, man.
For sure.
And just all the scenes, and then I started Disfigured. Me.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's where we're going.
And that's when Disfigured came about, and it was just me, it was my family. It was just me, my cousin, and my brother. It was just us 3 dudes, and we started that's so much to talk about with Disfigured, man. It was a very important band in my life.
Of course.
That was the first band for me to take it really serious and to travel and get to tour and put out albums. That was my first band that I really got to taste any sort of blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. For sure. You know what I mean? Yeah,
so let's go there, Mike. So Disfigured, I think, it's been a while since you guys did a record. Obviously, people have moved on, and even you and Nick, the singer, right? Is he related to you?
No, Nick is just one of my best
friends.
Nick
Moreno, the vocalist. Yeah. He's a scary looking dude. Every time I see pictures of him, he's fucking scary, man.
It's crazy because when I was pulling up to your house, I was like, this looks so familiar. Nick lives 5 minutes from here.
Really?
Nick lives right up the street.
Wow.
I was trying to get him to come out tonight.
Oh, you should have invited him.
Yeah, but I could not get a hold of him.
It's okay.
Yeah, he lives right up the street, and Nick rules, man.
I love what he does, and we'll talk about your guys' ascension into Flesh Hoarder in a bit. But let's let's talk about Disfigured. So how did you form kind of Disfigured? Were these other dudes from San Marcos too?
We were all San Marcos cats. The drummer is my younger brother Jacob. My only brother in the world was my brother Jacob. He was the drummer for Disfigured, and then my cousin Adam. So we were all Deleons. It was just three.
Oh
Deleons,
wow!
man.
Wow!
And, it was just us three guys, and we were just three dudes, just three kids. You know, covering songs like early Sepultura, like Chaos AD stuff, and then doing Fear Factory, some early Slipknot. We were just kids playing metal tunes, but then we took it seriously and Disfigured and started writing music. And then we put out an album way back in the day, Blistering of the Mouth, our first album.
Yeah.
It's crazy even stirring these thoughts up because it feels like it was so many years ago now.
What year was that? 2004?
2003, 2004.
Yeah.
When all that was coming about, man.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago.
Yeah.
God dang, it just feels like forever ago. But we were. There's an old venue in Austin called the Back Room. You remember the Back Room?
Of course, yes.
We were the house band there it seemed like for 2 years. We played there every week for every show. We were just opening for everybody. We were just, like as they say, cutting teeth, man, and just getting our our foundation as a band, and at the Back Room, and San Antonio over at Bonds. You know what I mean? Playing all the cool spots, and the White Rabbit, opening for all the bands at the White Rabbit. So we were just a band. We did some touring, man, and it just started to open more doors as that went on, meeting everybody in the scene and connecting with all these bands from around the United States and beyond, and just keeping it going from there, man. But Disfigured was definitely... it has a really big place in my heart. And like you said, we haven't played anything in about 5 or 6 years. There was a little bit of a rumble earlier this year about maybe getting together. Doing a show.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And it would be cool. So maybe, there's a lot of fans out there that would love to hear some old Disfigured songs. So maybe one day we'll get together, sooner than later, man, and make it happen, man.
If that happens, let me know. I want to definitely be there.
Cool. I will definitely will.
A couple of things before we move on from Disfigured. The last record that you guys did in 2011, the Amputated Gore Horror, is that still available for people?
I mean, you can get it on Spotify.
But you can't download it. I mean, you can't own it, can you?
If it is...
That's what I want. I want to own the shit.
Okay, if it is, it would be... over at the Comatose website. Comatose was our record label.
Oh, okay.
And Steve over
But it's
at
not like on
Comatose,
iTunes or anything like that where you can download it?
I don't think it is on any of that.
Oh, wow.
Right there.
Yeah. You have any hard copies of that? Or maybe in your house?
I might have some stashed away, man. I always got all sorts of odds and ends stashed away, man. So I may have some, but...
To me, that stuff is kind of like... That's kind of like history stuff. Like, you just want to have a... Like, me, I'm old school, so... I like hard copy stuff, and even my digital music. Like bands will send me links to Spotify. I'm like, dude, I don't want that. Like, if you want me to listen to your music, send me the track. Send me a Dropbox with your shit.
Yeah.
I want to download it because I don't want to hear it all compressed and shit like that. So, like, even on my phone, I have like 200 gigs on my phone, so I have all my music on my phone, and I like to listen to it that way. And I'd love to own a copy of Amputated Gore Horror.
Man,
wow.
That's an old school gym.
That's old school,
there,
right?
as
Fuck
they
yeah.
say. Yeah, man.
What, 11 years ago now? 11 years?
What's this one? Yeah, about 11 years ago now.
Yeah,
man.
11 years now.
That was a really big album for us. We got to do some good touring, and it was an awesome time. It was a good time when that album came out. And our singer, I want to bring up our singer at the time, Ryan, who's now passed away a couple of years ago. He was a big deal to many of us in the scene, and I want to send a huge shout out to Ryan. He was a singer on that specific album.
Oh, okay.
And
after him, Nick joined the band?
Yeah, Nick joined,
Nick
joined a little bit later on.
Okay.
But a couple of years ago, we lost Ryan, and we all have a lot of love for him, so I don't want to leave him out.
For
and
sure.
I want to send out some love for the
sure.
homie, man.
For sure. So all the Disfigured, if there's any Disfigured, I mean, I know there's other demos and shit of Disfigured out there. That's all Ryan.
Yes.
Nothing has Nick on it.
Oh, nothing has Nick on it.
Right, okay, got it.
The first album is just going to be me and Adam.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then Ryan was on the second album.
Sure. Interesting. Wow, I did not know that. Very, very cool, man. Now, before we move on, obviously, I don't want to be remiss and not talk about, because one of the things that I think people have come to love and respect Mike Deleon is just, obviously you're playing, bro, and you wouldn't be progressing in your career if it wasn't for your playing. So how early on, like in the Disfigured days or even before Disfigured, how did you kind of like sharpen your chops, bro? Like, how did that happen? Like, did you take lessons, or did you have a mentor, or were you just so diligent in practicing every fucking day?
It was a little bit of all that. I took lessons for maybe about a year in my lifetime.
Really?
It was when I was 12 years old. So 12 to about 13, I took some lessons from an old San Marcos cat named Dan. And he taught me some chords, taught me some stuff. Gave me the foundation, the basics of it all. But I was a guy who just practiced. I just practiced and practiced.
Because you loved it.
I loved it.
Of course.
Just loved it.
Of course.
I wanted to get better. And Disfigured, I mean, I was still such a kid. I was thinking about that when I was driving down here. I was like, man, I was still such a young dude that I was learning. I was learning and how to perfect what I was trying to, get at. Even today, still trying to, get that tightness, that razor sharp right hand, man. But just always practicing and trying to get better as a guitar player.
You make a great point there, okay? And I'm going to say this, and I don't care who doesn't like it, but, I love death metal. I love black metal. But the thing that I've always said to bands is, like, if you're going to do death or black, do it well. And one of the things that I see a lot is a lot of death metal guys are sloppy when they play. And I can't stand that, because you're playing fast and you're playing a lot of riffs, but you gotta be tight, bro.
You gotta be tight.
You gotta be tight. And that, dude, you are fucking super tight, bro.
Thank you, man.
It's like you're not sloppy at all. Like, I've seen your videos, your playthroughs, no matter what you're playing. It could be like the M.O.D. video that you released, or some of the other shit that you've done. And I'm like, Mike's just fucking, he knows what he's playing. He's not half-assing it when he's playing it. But at the same time, you make it look very easy and seamless. So when I see someone like you play, I'm like, this dude, like, he practices a lot.
Yeah, a lot of practice, man. And just sitting at the house, playing along to your favorite songs. Honestly, today I was practicing along to the Master of Puppets song. Just the song itself.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking trying to nail it. You know what I mean? Nail that tightness that James Hetfield has on that right hand. And that's the only way you're going to get there is if you practice. Sit there and put on whatever you're listening to, whatever style, and just try to play along to some of your favorite bands. But it's going to make you a better player if you're playing bluegrass, blues, to death metal. Just practice and try to tighten up that hand. And that's exactly what I try to, achieve, man, is just getting that tightness going, man.
Wow.
I'm glad you see it. I really, really appreciate that. It means a bunch.
I've loved guitar players since the beginning of being a fan in metal music since I was a kid. I've always had my favorite guitar players. I love guitars too. In fact, I used to own many guitars up until I got divorced and I had to get rid of them. I'll tell you that story after we stop recording, Mike. But to me, I love guitars too. So like, we're gonna talk about your Dean guitars here in a bit. But when you're showing your V's and your other guitars, I'm like, man, guitars are like cars. They're like makes and models and colors and fucking. They all have their own. Yeah.
They're all different.
Sure. We'll get there. So, why did Disfigured disband?
I got busy with other projects. So other
Were
bands.
you already doing Flesh Hoarder?
Flesh Hoarder came out of nowhere. Flesh Hoarder was it was a party. We were in a car partying, man, doing shit we shouldn't have been doing. We were sitting in a car in San Antonio, and me and a couple of other Mexican dudes, doing bad stuff, and we had a conversation about us starting our own band. We're like, how about we start a band one day, and Flesh Hoarder was born, as weird as that is, and it was just a bunch of friends and a bunch of busy bands already, starting a whole nother band, and it still hasn't stopped. We're still jamming today.
I know you guys have shows this summer.
Yeah, we're about to head out to Chicago, but it was just a band that kind of came out of nowhere, but that kind of started taking over, and I wasn't even in other bands, and with Disfigured, it kind of was just like, all right, I just started getting busy. Then the M.O.D. thing happened, and then I had to really start choosing. You know what I mean? And I don't like to be picky and choosy, but I just like to be as busy as I can. As they say. So that's what I was trying to do.
Well, obviously, and I'm sure anyone out there can relate to this. We have certain things that come into our lives, and then for whatever reason, we have a tendency to kind of lean a certain way. So as a musician, you were obviously kind of leaning away from Disfigured and to kind of jam with these other dudes. Was it because they were better players and you felt, oh man, I'm going to up my game by playing with these dudes, or these dudes are heavier just like me, like I like heavy stuff? What was it that kind of like swayed you into that new direction in a band?
A couple of different reasons. One of them definitely being just branching out, learning more stuff, learning more songs this way, learning more stuff that way. And then another thing would just be just some good opportunities. Trying new adventures and seeing where I can go with this band, or where this band can take me. So there was definitely reasons why I would just try out new things, and it wasn't to leave other bands. It was just to see where my opportunities can lie in these bands, and then just to get these songs, get these routines, get these under my belt, and be able to. Someone was asking me the other day, man, you're like in 3 bands, 4 bands. How do you differ each band? And I'm just like, man, it's all right here. And I'll have to go from playing Pantera 1 second, and then the next day I'm playing Flesh Hoarder stuff, and it's just a matter of a flick of a switch in my mind. And so for me, it was just getting some opportunity, getting to branch out and learning songs, man, learning guitars, man.
Yeah, I think too, we're talking like maybe 2005, 2006, around there. I'm not quite sure. I can't quite remember. But nowadays, you have cats who are like fucking in 3 or 4 bands. It's kind of like a normal fucking thing now.
Yes.
Back then, it really kind of wasn't.
It was little new.
It was little new. Like everybody was in their band, and you're in your fucking band and focusing your fucking band.
And that was it.
Yeah, you weren't in fucking 3 or 4 bands.
Yeah, you were in 3 or 4 bands. That seemed to come a little bit later for a lot of people. But there was already like a cat or two definitely filling in for a few bands. You know what I mean? There was already a few dudes. For sure, Mike Fury, that guy is in 40.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was a drummer that was helping out some folks, And
that to me, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, drummers are like the hardest dudes to find, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants a good drummer.
And it seems like bass players.
Really?
It just seems like everybody who plays guitars, you know what I mean? Bass players are a little bit more harder to come by, especially a really good bass player,
Oh, I go way back with Mike Fury from the early days of In Disgust.
Oh, yeah.
They were on Rob's MetalWorks.
Brothers of ours.
Way back in the day. So, Mike Fury, I love you, man. Hope you're watching tonight, and come visit me soon. So let's talk about the beginnings of Flesh Hoarder now. You guys released a record last year, but before we get to that, I mean, you guys were born in 2011. What kind of was the premise for Flesh Hoarder? And really, what an amazing name, Flesh Hoarder.
Yes.
Oh God.
Man, that was, like I said, Flesh Hoarder was...
The hoarder to me is not like a positive thing, right? Because you hear people say like, oh man, that dude's a hoarder, that chick's a hoarder. That means like they have a bunch of junk in their house.
Yeah.
And like Flesh Hoarder.
We're
I kind of want to be a Flesh Hoarder too.
It's funny because we've played all over the place. God. And some people will misspell our name. And they've... Flesh Harder, we've been called, you know what I mean? Somebody even said Flesh Hoarder, but they spelled it like a whore. Hoarder.
W-H-O-R-D.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So it's definitely been a bunch of a bunch of funny things, but we're a serious death metal band.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? And we're trying to bring that brutal fucking death metal.
It's a very traditional type of death metal. Yeah.
And we're bringing the groove, the slam, the blast beats, and just a straightforward death metal, man. But we're using that really low end, very Cannibal Corpse influence, very Brujeria influenced.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just really grindy death metal stuff, you know, and we're trying to bring it as hard as we can, and Texas all the way, man.
I have the latest release, the Relic of Putrescent Filth record. I remember when I first saw that record, and I saw the chick with her legs open and whatever's coming out. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can post this on the Facebook page. They might fucking censor me.
You're going to get banned.
It's crazy. It's a crazy piece of work. I just mentioned the fact that you guys started in 2011, but the first kind of record didn't come out till 2018.
Yes.
Why so long?
We put a demo out probably in 2012.
Okay.
3-song demo.
Yeah.
We went in, we recorded, and it got put out too, but we just played shows. We were just a band that was writing and playing shows, and it took a little while for us to finally get our first record out, and that was in 2018. That was Homicidal Necrophile.
Yep.
And that was our debut album, and I love it, man. It's a brutal CD, man, start to finish.
Is that on a label?
That was on Comatose Music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, which were Disfigured was that.
So if we want to get that, if fans want to get that, can they go to that website or find it on?
Comatose.com.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it should be everywhere. All the streaming sites. You can jam.
I don't have that one. I want to get it.
Yeah, that's a good one right
I want to get that one.
Definitely. But
Homicidal Necrophile.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
does Nick come up with those names? Or?
Yeah, that's all Nick right there, man.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah.
Like I said, that fucker looks scary, bro.
Yeah, he's got a twisted mind, but a good heart. But he's definitely got that twisted mind.
Nick,
man.
I gotta meet you, man. I gotta meet you someday.
Cool,
yeah, that's cool though. Flesh Hoarder though, and then you guys released the first record in 2018. Now the Relic of Putrid and Filth came out in 2021. So just a few years later. This record, to me, though, I love how it sounds. Great record. Great artwork. Very heavy.
Real dark.
It's totally dark.
Dark album. Dark feel. You know what I mean? It takes you to a dark place when you listen to that album front to back. But it's a very focused album. More evil than the first album, you know? But we're already working on the next one already. We're already writing songs. We have about 3 or 4 songs already.
Yeah.
Working on the new one, and we practice, usually once a week. And they're in San Marcos, and we're definitely trying to move forward with Flesh Hoarder.
Yeah.
Definitely got a lot lining up. We got gigs all around the United States this year, so we definitely are staying busy, man. So it's good. It's good. But that Relic and Homicidal, if you haven't heard them, go jam them, man. It's super sick underground Texas death metal, man.
Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of those albums.
Has Phil heard that record?
Phil
loves it, doesn't he?
Phil loves it, man.
I knew it.
I got some cool stories.
Tell him.
There was one time the Illegals were headed to shoot the video for Choosing Mental Illness. We did a big video a couple years that you can see on YouTube. It's us doing the parody of the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
And we did like a 6-minute little mini film. Well, on the way to the shoot, we were in my red truck, and it was me, Philip sitting in the passenger seat, and then Nick from Flesh Hoarder, who's in the video for the Illegals video, and then our producer, Big Steve, big fella, where it was in the back seat, and Philip had my phone, and he was going through my Spotify, and I got a lot of crazy stories of that particular day. But he played the Flesh Hoarder, and
But he knew that was your band.
Oh, he knew it.
He just wanted to check it out.
And he checked it out, and it was right after the first album had dropped. And he loved it, man. He was a big fan. And you'll see.
Was that before you were in the Illegals?
That was when I was already in the
Illegals.
Okay. Yeah. So I was already, juggling
Yeah.
And,
I can imagine that he gets inundated with music all the time. People are just like, hear my shit.
Always giving him music.
Of course.
And he listens to it, man. Philip will sit back in the back of the bus, burn one down, and he'll check
Fuck
out. He'll check out the music, man.
Where did you guys record Relic?
Relic was recorded. We like to call it Big Torture Studios, and that was our guitar player Angel. We recorded everything in his home.
Yeah.
It was a home album. The drums were recorded downstairs in this little setup. We recorded all the guitars upstairs, vocals, bass, everything was recorded in my homie's home in Buda, Texas, man, in Big Torture Studios, and he did a great job with the recording. It got mastered, and it came out really, really good, man.
And all the other dudes from the band, they're here in San Antonio?
Oh, we like to call the guys in Flesh Hoarder the I-35 circuit, because a couple of the guys are in Austin, a couple of the guys are in San Antonio, and New Braunfels and San Marcos. So we jam in San Marcos, but we're all on the I-35 circuit, we like to say.
Oh,
so,
y'all practice in San Marcos?
We practice in the middle. We like to meet in the middle, man. So
I'd love to go to a practice.
Oh, whenever you want to come.
Well, invite me, and if I can go, I want to go and just shoot some footage.
It's us in Disgust. We all share a jam room. We're all in a little spot, man. So shout out to Sound Tank Studios, man. It's been in San Marcos for many, many years. Host many, many bands.
Nice. So it sounds like, and also too, I've kind of been, following the Relic record for a while, and it's getting a lot of acclaim.
Yeah, it's
getting
pretty good.
Pretty fun.
It's been doing
It looks
good.
like it has some good momentum behind it.
Yeah, definitely a lot of positivity, I should say. Yeah, a lot of people have been getting some good feedback on it, and we've been, like I said, people keep asking us to play. So we have shows.
Tell us what you have coming up.
We have a show in Chicago coming up at the end of July. Couple months from now, we're going to be going and crushing Chicago. I can't wait.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big Chicago Death Fest, and we're going to be repping Texas as hard as we can. And then we have some shows. We're playing with the Cavalera Brothers in a month in Austin.
I saw that.
Yes, that's a big show for us.
I saw that.
And I cannot wait. We got to play with Max and Igor. And how amazing is that, for us to get to play our tunes, and then they're going to play the Arise Beneath the Remain set. And Cephalic Carnage is on the bill, so we got some shows lining up, and then we have another really big festival the beginning of October in Florida. We're the home of death metal, so we're stoked. It's our first Florida show. I have so many friends in Florida. I can't wait to get down there and crush it, as they say.
So
man.
cool.
It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good.
So cool. I'm so
staying busy, man.
I'm so glad that obviously, I think more people have come to know Mike Deleon, obviously because of Phil and the Illegals. But it makes me so happy to hear you talk about how excited and enthused you are about something that you created with Flesh Hoarder. Yeah, and that's your thing, and it is fucking has a lot of momentum. You're going to stay busy no matter what happens with Phil. I mean, I know you guys are on a hiatus right now. We'll talk about that. But nonetheless, you're still staying busy, and people are watching you, and you're growing your fan base. And to me, that's a beautiful thing.
That means a bunch, Rob. I really, really appreciate it. I'm trying, man.
I see it, man.
Trying to represent Texas. Trying to stay busy as they, keep it going, man.
We were talking off camera, and I'm gonna share with these people out there, and we're not gonna fucking badmouth the people who are the musicians who are assholes, but
they're out there.
They're out there.
They're out there,
big and small. But I think one of the reasons that people have come to kind of have love for Mike Deleon and respect Mike Deleon is just because you're a good guy, and you have good energy, and you respect your fans, you respect your peers, and you respect people in the press like me who want to support you and love you. And if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be here tonight. So you wouldn't have driven up here tonight to do this interview.
Oh man, it was drizzling as I was coming up here, but
I was hoping you wouldn't cancel.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna cancel, man. Not I wouldn't cancel on you.
Oh man,
like I was saying at the beginning, it was a big deal for me to be here today, and like you said, I try to be everything you're saying, man. I try to be cool with everybody and laid back, and let's have some fun. Let's get along and. Let's listen to some metal and let's enjoy our day. Let's be cool to one another and bring some positivity back into metal, man. It needs it. You know what I mean? And everybody does their thing, but I try to be cool and have a lot of love for everyone and bring the metal as fucking razor sharp as I can, man.
And Mike, that is why good things are happening for you, bro. It all comes back to you. What you give off comes back to you.
Thank you so much.
That's the truth, carnal. I know it. I'm tenured enough to know that. And we've all gone through dark times in our life, and you're wondering, why is bad shit happening? It's because you're giving off bad shit, man. You want good things to happen to you, then give off the love and the good vibes, and that karma comes back to you. I really, really believe that. And honestly, bro, I'm so happy that you're doing this interview with me tonight, because I think that, who knows where your career is going to be 5 or 10 years from now. You're going to be bigger and brighter than ever. And when that happens, Mike, don't forget about me.
Oh, man.
You better come back and interview.
Come back, man. I'll be back.
You better come back and interview with me, bro.
I'll be right back in this room.
All right.
I'll be hanging out right here, staring at these walls, man.
Before we leave Flesh Hoarder, tell me a little bit about, you kind of alluded to it earlier, but have you guys writing new music already?
Yes, we are about 3 or 4 songs deep.
Yeah.
It's great, these last few practices that we've been having. I like to say we're total pendejos, man. We go in there, we smoke a little weed, the guys have a little bit of their, drinking, and we let loose, 5 dudes after a long day of work, and we just want to get in there, and we want to rock, and we do fucking cover songs of Nirvana, and we do cover songs of Metallica.
Cool.
But then we get on them Flesh Hoarder stuff, and we're really trying to, maybe EP sooner than later. Maybe just a little 5-song EP.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
To keep everybody.
For sure.
To keep some new songs jamming, but we're definitely staying busy, and we're all writing, and it's awesome. It's good.
If you guys release new music, when would you like some new stuff out?
Oh man, maybe by the end of the year or the beginning of next year.
With the same label that you guys are on?
Nothing wrong with the label that we're on, but we're most likely gonna do it on
Indie.
our own. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
do it on our own. We can do it all.
You can do it on your own.
Do it all yourselves, and put the profit back into the band, and put more stuff out for people, man. So
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
And I'll real quick, while we're talking about profit for the band, us dudes don't get paid in Flesh Hoarder, man. It's always going back into the band.
For sure.
It's a passion that we have. It pays for the Whataburger at the end of the night.
Yeah.
It's buying our gas to get to the show. So we're doing good, but it's not like we're out trying to make millions.
Money. Yeah.
We're out having fun, playing music for people who want to hear some death metal, and like I said, ending the night on some Whataburger. So we're just being some real cats, having some fun, playing some tunes, man.
Cool.
Just being cool about it.
Okay. I think I was remiss, because I want to focus on your original stuff, and I think once people began to kind of see Mike Deleon as a really legit player, somewhere along the line, fill us in, because I'm not even that sure. When along in your career did the M.O.D gig come knocking on your door?
Awesome, that's a good question, man. Let's see. I would think at the very...
And how did it happen?
Okay, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Because that's how it happened, is that right there. So I was playing in Disfigured. I was doing Disfigured shows. We used to play this venue in Austin called Headhunters.
Yep. Billy Milano used to work there.
Billy Milano
fucking worked there.
That ties it in
right there.
Right there. So he used to work there.
Yeah, I remember.
And he'd be the guy running sound.
Yeah.
Doing the sound.
Yeah.
And we would be the Mexican cats rolling in our shit, the 3-piece band, and he would know Disfigured's here, because we were the band that played.
Were you already sporting the whole fucking?
No.
What do we call it?
The
handlebars.
Yes. No, back then it was just like a dirty beard.
Then that's good, because I was about to say, he didn't remember you because of the handlebars. He remembered you because of your playing.
Because of playing.
Yeah.
And I was a fan of Billy,
Of course.
I was jamming SOD.
SOD?
And MOD, yeah.
Stormtroopers of Death.
Dude, it was...
For all you kids out there.
Yeah, it was for a lot of metalheads out there, a lot of metalheads refer to that SOD album as it laid the foundation for that thrash. You know what I mean? And so when Billy entered my life, and I entered his, it was just a real mutual friendship.
It was at Headhunters.
Yeah, it was at Headhunters, and he was just a cool, I was a fan. He was a fan of our band, and one day I got a phone call from Mike Fury, and Mike was like, "Bro, are you interested in jamming with Billy and I? Billy wants to bring M.O.D. back. You interested in playing guitar?" And I was sitting at my table eating some food, and I fucking blew up. I was still busy with Disfigured, and this was.
How old were you at that time?
20-something. I don't know, 20-something, and this was like my first big opportunity.
Of course, yeah.
This was, Of course,
that's like a dream come
true. A dream come true. And M.O.D. They had some success, and Billy definitely had some success, So I was definitely like, man, I want to jam those old SOD tunes. Let's just jam. So that and honestly, when it came to guitar playing, Rob, I really, really got to give it to Billy, because people ask me how that time of my life was, and really, that man was the guy that really pushed me to be a better guitar player.
Wow.
Because I was just, I don't want to say sloppy, but I was just a death metal guitar player.
Right.
But then I got in M.O.D., and now we're playing punk rock.
Right.
And now we're playing thrash metal. And, and it had to be precise.
For sure.
And I came in with a crate amp and a crate stack and a guitar. And within time, it went from just a stack to now I'm jamming Mesa Boogie, and now I'm jamming a really nice guitar, and it was all because of Billy.
And now you're still jamming Mesa Boogie.
I'm still jamming Mesa Boogie, Now
Now
I'm with Mesa.
So all these things kind of started added on into who you've become now.
To today.
Yeah.
And he was just a guy that really laid that you got to be a good guitar player, Mike. We're playing these songs from the 80s, and he was like, I know they're retarded. He'd say that, I know they're retarded dumb, but you have to be on that. You have to be on it. And even guitar solos at that point in my life, I wasn't a guitar solo dude. I was always playing rhythm guitar. So that was another turning point in my life where I really was like, okay, I'm playing an M.O.D. now. I really got to take these solos seriously. Because Billy's watching.
For sure.
And he wants them to be this
And he's
certain
Billy
way.
Milano.
And he's Billy Milano,
Yeah.
So, and then we're, in Europe. And I'm just this kid from Texas. I didn't ever think in my life I was ever going to go play music, on that part of the world. And here I am with a guitar landing in Europe. And now we got gigs, know. So, and big gigs. We played Hellfest with Slayer in front of
that's so
80,000 people.
How did you feel about that?
Oh, dude, nervous, bro. Nervous. But then a hit or two of weed, and that nervousness went right out the door. And it was just a relaxed state. And it was what we do, man. It was
afterwards, how did you feel when you think about what you got into music for, right? Obviously, you love playing guitar, and obviously, somewhere in there is the aspiration, I want to progress in my career. You're there playing in front of thousands of people with Billy Milano. I would have thought, man, this is a huge milestone for me as a musician, as a human being. Even as a human being, just to see my dreams are coming true, things are happening for me.
It was,
and God's blessing me or whatever, but
it was definitely a lot of emotions.
A Mexican dude from San Marcos?
Dude, that's what I would say.
What the fuck?
That's what I would say.
I'm
just this Mexican dude from San Marcos.
Exactly.
What am I doing here,
Exactly.
But I was there, and I was doing it.
Yeah.
And like I said, always being cool about everything.
Of course.
Always. And even to this day, I tell my wife this, I always network. It's just what
sure.
It's just what it's built in me. I always try to network, get people's information, try to talk, what I do, what I've done, because you never know, one day, they might need you might need them. So even at that time in my life, 10 years ago now, I was just a kid just trying to introduce myself to the world and meet people. And it really helped, and it still helps to this day, just networking. I tell that to all the people they ask me, just be cool and just try to meet people and tell them what's going on. But being with M.O.D. was definitely a huge stepping stone. And it can lead us into the next topic because honestly, in M.O.D., that's how I got the Illegals gig. Is when I was. It all cracked. It all crossed paths, and it was just being at the right place at the right time, and or fate, and or just happening, man. It was wild.
We're about to get there. But I tell this to a lot of young cats that I meet too, and you know this, just based upon of what you've shared now, is that this business is about relationships.
Big time.
Your relationship with Mike Fury got you into M.O.D. Your relationships with Billy got you into Phil. I mean, it's all about relationships and trust and who you know. So, those people, those musicians out there who get it early on, or I see the ones who are progressing. There's some cats out there who never fucking get it. And they think, oh, just because I'm fucking a great guitar player or a great singer, that's going to carry me through all this. And it really doesn't. I mean, people would want to hang around with people maybe who aren't that good, but that have good vibes and they're fun to be around with. And, they're positive. That
goes a lot further.
Dude, fuck.
So much further than the guy that could shred all day.
Exactly.
Not the coolest guy to be around.
Exactly.
Man. You got to be cool, man. And, play your ass off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because it's good for you, and it's good for everybody around you, too, man, for sure.
I think you need another drink.
I'll take one more. One more drink sounds good, man, for sure. Yes.
Mike, thank you so much for sharing so much tonight, man. I really appreciate it. Now, we're going to kind of end out here on the third kind of section of this interview, kind of really talking about, so many of the greatest things that you've done in your career. Before we went on our little drink break, you shared the fact that, it was the gig in M.O.D. that kind of helped you transition into Phil Anselmo and the Illegals. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that happen?
Okay, we were in Germany. The M.O.D. had a gig, and we were playing a show with Phil and the Illegals, and this was back when there was the original Illegals lineup.
With Marzi. Yeah.
Shredder Marzi, man.
Yeah.
Marzi shreds, man. And big shoes to fill, even walking into the Illegals, man. Knowing, Marzi, was the dude. Well, we were in Germany, and we were on before the Illegals. We were probably like a band or two before. So Steve, Joey, and Marzi were hanging side stage.
Yeah.
I'm there warming up before we hit stage doing sound check, and I'm just noodling around on some death metal riffs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were at the time already looking for a new guy already because they were having some issues with Marzi or whatever, and it's a whole nother story, but they were looking for a new guy. I'm just there warming up on some death metal stuff. A few months go by, and I'm working at this fast food spot in San Marcos, man, and I get a phone call from Steve from the Illegals.
The other guitar player.
Yep. My brother Steve. I have much love for homie. Yep. Honestly, I owe a lot to Steve, man. He was a big mentor, Steve Taylor. But he gave me a call, and he said, Mike, we're looking for a new guitar player in the Illegals. Are you interested in coming out and jamming with us? And I remember Rob standing there on the line in this little fast food spot and putting the phone up in the air and being like, what the fuck? Like tripping out. And I put my phone back and I was like, yeah, man, I'm totally down. You know what
man.
I mean? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I love to come out and jam with
I
you
might
guys.
have some time.
Literally tripping out, But at that same moment in my time in my life, M.O.D. was working on a brand new album. And I want to go back real quick and say there is an M.O.D. album. It's the last album that they put out. It's called Broken, Busted, and American.
Yeah, I have it.
That's me on guitar.
Really?
That entire album, except for a couple of solos that Billy went and got someone else to do after we parted ways.
But all the riffs are you.
All the rhythm, all that.
Wow,
that's me on guitar
cool.
right there playing all that.
I did not know that.
And you can go check out that album. And I don't really get to talk about that much, honestly. But I did put out an album with M.O.D. It's the last album. You can check it out. But at that time in my life, I was working on that album, so it was a little weird to juggle that the Illegals were kind of coming into the picture out of nowhere, but yet M.O.D. was still doing a thing. Then one thing led to another. M.O.D. was over. It ended on a bad note. I don't really like to talk about all that, but it kind of closed that door in my life. And as they say, one door closed, another one opened. It was like a 2-week period where I was bumming, man. I was really down and out in my time. I was not having a good time. I was just lost my band. We just recorded an album. It was done. Then about 2 weeks later, I get an email from Philip, and that was it. That was the turning point I needed in my life. And
so did he tell you to come audition?
he said, hey, we are still needing a guitar player. I can probably go back and look at that email if I really search for it. But it was a really long one, kind of telling me where he was at in his life.
Yeah.
And what was going on with the Illegals.
That's cool.
It was really, really cool. It really was. And I was just like, this Mexican dude, this guitar player from these bands. And here I was getting this opportunity to come try out for the Illegals.
He must have heard some good things about you.
I really hope.
Heard your music.
I honestly know it was the other guys in the Illegals. They were putting in, man, this is the dude, And
you know what? I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just felt so compelled to say, going back to what I was saying earlier about, being someone positive with good vibes, there's tons of great guitar players out there, okay? But when you have people telling you, this dude can do it, and he's a great guy. He's a great human being.
Bring him in.
That's who we want.
That's who we want.
Let's
meet this guy. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And it's just as simple as that.
That's so important. I think a lot of fans don't really realize, being in a band is like being in a marriage. You better get along with your chick or your fucking band, because if you don't, you don't want fucking drama in the back end,
Mm-hmm.
And, we've all experienced that, but, you want to be happy. And if you got a dude who can pull it off and who's there for the right reasons, and who believes in the mission, not just the money,
Totally.
Totally.
That was my mission. And it's still today. As you can see, it's never about money. It's cool to have some cash. Yeah, we all got bills to pay. I'm not going to say that that's not important, because, everybody's out there trying to make a buck, of course.
Sure.
But there's a whole other side of that, and that is being the dude that's on stage, learning those songs and really putting your heart and soul into that. And that is exactly what I do for no matter what band I'm jamming in. I just got to give it my all, because that's what I would want the other guys to do, So I try to be 1,000% cool about everything, but honestly on top of the ball when it comes to the songs too. So yes, I just try to be cool about it. And then when I entered the Illegals, I remember my first jam session.
When you auditioned, was it with the band, or did you have to send in a video, or what?
So let's talk about the audition. This
story
is
tell
really,
me.
really cool. So it was a Wednesday night, and Joey from the Illegals called me, and he's like, Mike, because they were doing...
The drummer.
They were doing Superjoint. At that time, Superjoint was starting to get busy again. They were doing their thing all over again. They put out a new album. They were getting busy. So they called me on a Wednesday, and Joey's like, Mike, can you come out here tomorrow? Can you come and audition, or jam with us on Friday? And I remember hitting up my boss saying, boss, I need the next couple of days off. I got to go to New Orleans. Driving.
Oh, they wanted you to go to New Orleans.
And leading up to this moment.
To the Nosferatu lair?
I was going out to the lair.
To the Nosferatu lair.
It was the
at Phil's compound.
The holy layer.
Holy
man.
shit.
The holy layer. And leading up to this moment, I had learned the entire first Illegals album. Because I knew if I was going to audition, I was going to have to play...
Walk-through exits only.
Walk-through exits only.
Yep.
So here's the cool story. I get down to Nosferatu's lair. Bro, it took me 8 hours of by myself, driving out to New Orleans, listening to Deicide and walk-through exits only. I got to Philip's house for the first time in my entire life at 3 a.m. And I'm telling you, I'm driving in and I'm hearing the rustle of the rocks underneath my tires.
Oh, God.
And I was like, okay, I'm really
here
at Phil Anselmo's house. You're not just at some regular, you're at the boss's house, man.
Yeah.
And it's the shrine.
I want to go there,
dude. It's a metal mansion.
I want to go there.
It's so awesome. We got to get you out there.
Yes,
one day,
please.
It's
Tell
cool,
Phil. Phil
man.
knows me.
Yes.
Tell him, Phil. Rob.
Go out there, have some fajitas and
Fuck yeah.
hear some jams. But we get out there and it's 3 in the morning, so I go to bed. I wake up on a Friday. And Superjoint is in the house, and they're running through their whole set. So now we're inside the layer, the door is closed, and I'm sitting by the drum set, and Superjoint is practicing, and I'm telling you, it's them and me. And I'm sitting there watching these 5 guys jam, Philip standing across, and they're playing all these songs that we grew up listening to.
Sure.
We knew all the Superjoint songs, so it's a trip. I'm there.
An American dose of hatred, right?
A lethal dose of American hatred.
Yeah.
And then use once and destroy.
Yeah.
Man. Happy birthday to the albums, turning 20 years.
Yeah.
But we were there. They get done. It's 3 or 4 in the afternoon. The band leaves. Superjoy leave. Now it's just Blue, Steve, and Philip. And me. And I'm plugging in my gear. And I'm seriously doing this, like shaking. Because I know I'm about to try out. Philip's gone at the house. And I'm telling Steve, I'm nervous, man. I'm really, really nervous. These are true stories. I'm really nervous. And Steve's like, bro, this is what Steve tells me. And I've never talked about this, but he looks at me and he was like, Mike, you're here for a reason. He was like, just play your heart out. He was like, you wouldn't be here if we didn't, he's like, just play your heart out and do what you do, man. You're here for a reason.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Steve's not a lead player.
No,
you're coming in to be the lead player.
Yes. But Steve can play some leads, but we try to handle, especially with the Pantera stuff, we try to handle some stuff.
Yeah.
But yes,
you're expected to be more the lead player.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so there I am holding my guitar, and Philip walks in and closes that door, and I'm telling you, my nervousness was through the roof. Because in my
Is there
mind,
some AC in that motherfucking barn?
There's AC in that
Okay,
room.
good. It doesn't look like there's AC in there.
Sometimes it's
Looks
on,
hot.
sometimes it's off. Sometimes we're sweating it up. But in my mind, Philip is jammed with Tony Iommi.
Fuck yeah.
Philip is jammed
With
with
Dime.
Dude, so he's jammed with everybody, and then I get to Dime. He's jammed with Cantrell. He's jammed with fucking
Skasha.
Skasha. Mike the fucking Skasha. But then I get to Dime. In my mind, this dude is already played with the best. So, for me walking in as a Texas Mexican guitar player and having to follow this list of dudes that this guy has already played with was a lot of weight on these shoulders. But I gotta say, Philip Anselmo really did a good job of taking that weight off my shoulders when he was just like, be yourself, man. Be cool. You're here. Just jam.
You're Mike Deleon.
You're Mike.
Let me interrupt you for a second because I'm going to share something with you briefly. I've interviewed Philip many times, and I think in the interview of the 2017 interview that I did with him, it was a very extensive interview, and we talked about guitar players. And he was telling me, and this is in our 2017 interview, if anybody wants to go look at it. He said to me on camera, Rob, I have fucking been around hundreds of guitar players. I love guitar players. He goes, there's something special in the fucking water here in Texas that fucking guitar players from Texas are fucking legit, man. And I truly believe that he believes that. I mean, he talked about Dime. He talked about Skasha. He talked about Marzi. And so I know that he knows
He
what
definitely
the
knows.
fuck qualifies a guitar player to be at a certain level to jam with him. And, you know, I'm sure he doesn't want to come across like, you know, someone who's trying to hire somebody like, oh, like too eager to hire you. He wants you to make you sweat a little bit. But
He's
even
real.
just the fact that you were there, bro, said a lot.
It was wild, man, and I never left. I
So did he
walked
let
in-
you know afterwards, like you got the gig?
So this is the funny part of this story. I walked in learning the entire walkthrough exits only. First jam session of my life. He says, "All right, let's start showing them new stuff." We didn't
Practice
play
the old shit?
We didn't even play a single song off walkthrough exits only. It was literally, let's start showing them new stuff.
Was this the stuff from Choosing Mental Illness record?
This was the very beginning of Choosing Mental Illness. So in a day and a half, I was there from that Friday evening to all day Saturday. Sunday morning, I was driving home. So I was there literally a day and a half.
And you had already learned a lot of it?
And in that 1 day and a half, I learned 5 brand new
Did you
songs.
record them for yourself, or
Well,
it was all up here?
Well, we recorded everything as we jam. He has a studio set up, so while we're jamming,
Then he sends you the tracks?
everything upstairs is being tracked.
Yeah.
So when I was done with that weekend, he just sends an email. These are all the songs that we just learned. Here you go. These are your recordings that you just did. So it's all everything we just did in that day and a half was sent right to us. But it was. I didn't know a single note of any of these songs. It was me learning new songs as an audition. And
Wow.
I never talk about that. But it was a fucking jumble of notes. I remember like driving home and just knowing that I had a million notes. Riffs from 5 songs. 5-minute long songs of just wildness, which you can listen to on Choosing Mental Illness as a Virtue. I love that album. But it's just, it takes you on a fucking ride, that album. And that's what that 1 day and a half, my first audition with the Illegals. It was learning new songs, and
Crazy.
it was kind of like I never ever like really got told you got the spot by Philip.
Dude, if he's telling you to learn the new songs, that's telling you.
But
You got
at
the gig,
end,
bro.
At the end of the thing, he was like, "You're here. You're here," and I never left. And we just became, we became brothers. And that band was just a big brotherhood of brothers. But I just never left, man. That's my second home. I always say going to Phillips is because it's serenity and it's isolation and it's just a place of magic and a place of music, emotion, and you can just go and it can be from soft blue, anything, and it happens there, man. So it's definitely a place to check out. You know what I mean? I love it.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
It's exactly what it is, man.
I like to think of this room as the same thing when I interview people.
Yes. I'm sure these walls could talk. They'd probably have some cool
God.
things to say, man.
So Choosing Mental Illness as a Virtue came out in January of 18. It's been a few years now.
January the 26th,
2018.
Yes.
So what do you recall most about recording that record?
Wow. What do I recall? I never get asked that. I don't think I've ever been asked that before.
You're with El
man.
Metal tonight, brother.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good question. What I remember of that album, I remember the recording process and standing in the room and having the guys from Super Joint sitting behind me with their legs crossed and their arms.
No way.
And I'm there, like, literally. They're like, all right, you're tracking the song.
And they're all older dudes than you.
And
they're
like,
looking at you like the young dude.
and these are the dudes I had on my walls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was always a fan. I went and saw Super Joy at Ozfest 04, back in the day. So to be able to, the guy hitting the record button and I'm having all right, standard, you know what I mean? And then looking back and seeing Philip, Jimmy Bauer, and Kevin Bond just sitting there. I was just like, it's a lot of pressure, man, and I remember that. But I also remember a lot of good times, and like I said, Philip really taking the pressure off. he really made it easy for me. And it might sound weird, but that's how it was. He made it, the pressure wasn't on. And then as we got later into the Pantera stuff, which is a whole nother ball game, you know, as a Texas guy, having to take on the Dimebag story and the Dimebag shoes, as they say, to fill those shoes, boy, I was, you know, a nervous wreck, you know, going into that. But again, Philip just was like another guy that was just there in my corner saying, you're an illegal. We're not Pantera. We're doing that, but you're an illegal. And always remember that, because be Mike Deleon, you know, don't be Dimebag. Play your best. Hit those notes.
Yeah.
But always remember, you're Mike Deleon. And he says it just like that.
Did you know
what I mean?
those Pantera songs before you joined, Phil?
Oh, bro. Shit, yeah.
Oh, you already knew?
Yeah, oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I knew them like I knew them. Did I know them? Probably half
No,
the songs.
I'm asking you, did you know how to play them?
Probably half the songs. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
I was jamming those songs all my
Oh,
life.
of
You know what I
course.
mean? I was jamming Walk. I was jamming A New Level.
Yeah,
I was jamming
yeah.
Cowboys from Hell. But we really didn't take it serious until, as Philip likes to say, when Vinnie Paul passed, that's when it became really heavy for Philip. And talks in the band were like, let's start doing some more to pay tribute to the brothers.
Sure.
So that's when it really took a turn for the band.
Because after Vinny died, it was never going to happen again.
You know,
it was
never going to
done.
happen again.
Pantera, when Vinny died, it was fucking done.
It was done.
It was done.
You can get us, the tribute band. You can get tribute band. You can get tribute band. You can get all the tribute bands in the world, but you'll never get Pantera again. I saw you make a post on your social. I follow you on social media. All you people out there should follow Mike Deleon too. You posted, I think it was in May, not too long ago, and it was a picture of the Illegals. You said, you said this was a sad day. This was the last day that we played a show, and we're on a hiatus now. Talk a little bit about that. What's going on with the Illegals now? That's a good point. And honestly, I get asked that all the time. So I'm really I don't want to say clear the air, because I'm not going to get too into what is going on. But right now, Philip is obviously busy with
Sure.
You know, Down is busy doing a bunch of gigs. He's about to go to Europe. So Down is definitely doing some things.
Yeah.
A year ago, next month in June, me, Philip, and Blue, and another good friend of ours, Joyner, we got together for 1 week at Nosferatu's lair. And in 1 week, we wrote 15 songs.
Was Phil there?
It was just me, Philip, and Blue, and one other dude. And it was just...
Blues Joey.
Blues Joey.
Just for the people out there.
Yeah.
I know that,
Yeah,
but just
Blue-
for the people out there. Blue is Joey.
Joey Gonzalez.
Yeah, the
my
drummer.
Brother my brother Joey. Well, in 4 days, we wrote 15 songs. And I'm talking about songs out of thin air. Me, Philip,
Get the fuck out.
we got
15
together
songs, bro.
in 4 days. And it was not for... It was magic, man. We would wake up, smoke a few joints, and Philip would be like, guys,
A
be,
few?
Yeah, he'd be like, be quiet. He's like, I got this riff. And we'd stand there and listen to his riff, and we would bring that riff into life. And I'm telling you that I'd be like, I got a riff. No, I got a riff. And within 4.5 days, we wrote 15 songs, man, and they're rippers.
Is that going to be the new Illegals record? Maybe?
I would hope at some point we're going to get
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and we're going to go through those tunes and release that, because I'm telling you, you're going to want to hear these songs, man. These are some homage to Slayer.
Oh, God.
Homage to early Creator. Homage to early Sepultura, Rigor Mortis. You know, but these are original songs that we wrote as a band, man. So at some point, I hope, as of right now with the Illegals, I can't get it too much into what's going on. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes. I honestly would love to tell the world. Really,
But you're still in the band.
still the band.
You're still in the band.
The band is around, but right now,
Phil will decide when the band comes back.
That's the best way to
That's
put
the
it.
best way to put
That's
it.
the best way to put it.
Phil's the
When he's
mastermind.
ready-
He's ready.
Do you know what I mean? I talk to him all the time.
And
I
the
talk to
Illegals
him.
will come back.
Oh, we'll be back.
Down goes away for fucking years and then comes
Years,
back.
and comes back, you know
Super
what I mean?
Joint goes away and comes back for years.
For years.
Same thing with Illegals.
Same thing with the Illegals.
Okay. As long as you're still in it, bro. That's all I care
bro.
about.
illegal through and through
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah,
man.
for
Illegals
sure.
For life, man.
For sure.
And
at this stage in life, especially when I think about Phil Anselmo, he's an older guy now. He, and I've interviewed Phil many times, and I've seen him progress over the years. And I remember the last time I saw him, I think was in 2017. I think maybe it's been a few years now, but I know he cares a lot about relationships.
Very much.
I think that the passing of Dime and the passing of Vinnie Paul has helped him to realize how important relationships are and how short life can be, or how cutthroat life can be. So, as long as as long as he's saying you're still part of our family, then you're still part of the family.
Oh, man. I mean, I could go on and on about my personal relationship with Philip H. Anselmo.
Give me the summary.
He's my brother, man.
He's your brother.
He's my brother.
Your big brother.
I love him to death. He loves me to death. We are fucking brothers. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, but we've had so many more ups, and we are going to continue to have ups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A couple months ago, like I was saying earlier, I got married a couple months ago, and Philip came to my fucking wedding, and it was all the illegals were there, man. And I
was going to ask you about that when we ended out.
It was him and his wife showing, how we're a tight family, man.
Katie Richardson, we love you too.
Yeah, Kate, the momager.
Katie Richardson, we love you.
And, it's just, he's a good guy. He's just a busy dude, a wanted man, as I say.
Sure.
He's full of music. And he has lots of it in him. And, as he gets older, he's kind of just picking and choosing what he wants to do with his time. But when he's ready for the illegals, we're going to pick up right where we left off, man.
And you have all that music already recorded.
Oh, we have all lethal music.
Oh, God.
And some acoustic shit.
Man.
Vibe and music, Pink Floyd type stuff.
Yeah.
That people would love to hear. I know it, man. And, so we've had a lot of good times. And like I said, I talk to the boss. I call him all the time still. And everything's cool. He's just busy doing his thing right now. And I am busy doing my thing right now. When the time is right, we'll get together and rock and roll, man.
I hope he watches this interview.
I hope so too, man.
Before we leave Phil and the Illegals, this past year was the 30th anniversary of Vulgar Display of Power.
Huge.
That's like that record is like so pivotal in the lives of many metalheads who were trying to survive the grunge era. Remember, we were like, what the fuck's happening to metal? But there was Vulgar Display of Power there.
It came in and picked up, fucking where all the metalheads needed, and then Far Beyond Driven. You know? I mean, and they were keeping the metal alive, very alive in the 90s. But Vulgar Display turning 30 years, honestly, is huge. It's huge,
and
man.
so you guys, as the Illegals, did some shows in celebration of the 30th anniversary, like a tour.
Yeah,
we were talking about the San Antonio show.
Yes, fortunately, and this is gigantic, but we did the Slayer tour, man. We did the final fucking Slayer tour.
Yeah.
We were there for the last hurrah, as they say, and we were there the last night of Slayer.
Yeah.
So every night of that tour, we would do this set they called the Vulgar Display of Pantera. And it wasn't a full album, but it was a greatest hit set of all the albums touching base on everything. And we got to take this Vulgar Display of Power set around the world. We did it in Australia. We did it in Japan. We did it in South America.
Wow.
It was insane. And definitely did it in Europe. But we got to do it with Slayer. We were there for the final run. And it was a very, very emotional, huge thing that us illegals got to experience in our life. And it was having the man singing those songs. And like you said, paying tribute to Vince and to Dime, ultimately to those two cats. And, just like I tell people real quick, I want to touch on this. Me personally, when we were doing all that, I was bringing that vibe, man. I was trying to bring back that smile. Let's party. Let's enjoy these songs. These are our songs with the fans, with us, you know. So I was really trying to bring that vibe that Pantera would give.
Fuck
you know,
yeah.
on top of the playing. We were trying to nail those tunes as best we could and have fun, but at the same time, try to bring back the spirit, as they say. The spirit of
Dime spirit.
Dime spirit. The
Fuck
party
yeah,
spirit,
that's
man.
party spirit.
Let's have some fun and
Let's do a black tooth.
yeah, you know what I mean? Cheers, man, to those cats.
Fuck yeah.
And it was just, you know, it was always about having a good time and laying it on them as we would like to do, man.
For sure. Thank you, Mike, for sharing all that, man. You know,
it's very, very deep-hearted when it comes to that stuff right there, man.
I appreciate your enthusiasm and all that you're sharing tonight with me and the people around the world who will watch this interview. As we end out, just a couple of things. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you just recently get an endorsement by Dean Guitars? Is that true?
Huge.
That's fucking huge, bro.
Yes. I honestly, you know...
I know you love to talk about gear and shit.
Yes,
I'm not a gearhead, so
yeah,
I can't facilitate
all
that.
Day,
I know.
All day long. Yes, about almost a year ago now, I signed the deal, and I am now fully endorsed with Dean Guitars. I can't say enough about how much I have loved the move. I was over at Jackson, and I will talk about that. I was with Jackson Guitars. I waved the flag for those people as much as I could.
Yeah.
Things didn't work out as I wished. Dean came knocking at that door, and honestly, it was the best move and the right timing for me to go. And honestly, they've been in my corner now since then. And fucking Dimebag played Dean Guitars, man.
Fuck
the Washburns,
yeah.
you know. So it's where I should be. It's where I feel like I should be, and I'm stoked. I just got a new one a couple days ago.
I saw the black one.
Yeah, Lawless. I call it Lawless after Blackie Lawless, man.
It's like a star. What is that body style? It's like a dime style.
Yeah,
it's like a dime.
ML.
Yeah.
ML. It's a 7-string.
But you have another one, a green one that's like that one too, but it's different.
Yeah,
it's not rounded. It's sharp.
It's sharp. Like that's called the Stealth, and I named that one Avocado.
Oh my god!
Because it looks just like an avocado, and I love.
And then you got the V.
Yes, that's salsa.
Oh, the V is beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. Today I spent 2 hours. I was thinking about you too, man. I spent 2 hours working on that V, and I was like, man, I can't wait to get that interview tonight, man. I'm looking forward to it. But I was working on the V today.
Next time you come, bring one of your guitars. I want to hear.
I was thinking.
Look at this big amp. Look at this big amp I got on here.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, you can plug into my big amp
some
there.
Noise, man.
Just play a little couple of riffs for us. Must be silly, but that's great, man. I'm so happy for you. Dean obviously is a very reputable guitar company in the world, and for you to be part of them is a great thing. And maybe one day we'll see a fucking Mike Deleon signature Dean.
Hopefully sooner than later.
Oh,
man.
what style? What body style would you like?
Okay, so like it's already in the works.
Oh my!
Man. I'm getting a guitar.
Oh, here we go.
That's what I'm saying. Sooner than later, Dean's already working on things.
What body style?
So they're leaving it up to me.
Oof.
What
do you want?
It's a secret. It's a secret, but I want to go for an old fucking KK Downing style from the old pre-stage.
A V?
It's like a Kramer V, man. It's a wicked body. So I'm gonna kind of make it a little different and
the headstock is gonna be like a Dean, regular Dean.
Yeah, but I'm probably gonna make it a little different. Try to come up with something original.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can say the Vato from Hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to do something cool with it, man.
Wow.
But no company, no one's ever given me an opportunity to say, man, we're gonna build a guitar for you.
Wow.
So it means the world that someone believes in me enough to be like, hey, we're going to build you your own USA custom, man.
Dude, to me, when I think about, I've been around in the metal scene for a long time, and I was telling you tonight, even with my own career, I kind of feel like I'm coming to a trespass, as all people do as they get older. And you can't help but recognize the new generation of people that are coming up. And, when you're any kind of company, whether a guitar company, a car company, anybody, you have to be able to provide products to those new customers that find attractive new different attributes, you know. And we live in such a diversified world now, you know. South America, Latin America, Spain, these are huge markets for these companies. So to have, you know, someone like you, yes, you're Latino, but you're also American. So you have kind of like this attractiveness that is kind of diversified in both the fact that you are an American, but yes, you're Latino, and you're playing, you know, in some of the biggest places in the world, and have a long, credible history, a reputable history, and that's attractive to so many young people. You know, we don't like to think of, you know, people who are like 15 and 16 and 17 years old who are looking up to people like you.
I honestly love it. I love having those conversations.
You've seen those people.
Yes, I have friends. I've made friends with these kids, man.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I get messages from people all the time that are young, and they're like inspired. And honestly, it trips me out. But at the same time, I appreciate it, and all I can do is say thank you and give back however I can. You know what I mean? Even if it's a 30-second message, well, hey, that 30 seconds goes forever to these people, you know, of all ages. But yes, definitely the younger generation. I just like to lead a good pathway, man, you know, for these dudes, man.
For sure.
It can happen to any of us. I'm just a
That's
dude.
that's
You know what I
the
mean?
thing.
It can happen to any of us. You know
Mike,
what I mean?
that is your fucking story. That's what you sell. Look at me. Look at me and where I'm from. It can happen for you. That's what people are attracted to. Look at this guy from a little town in Texas, and look at him now. Okay.
Trying to
Trying
to have fun, man.
I think your story is a lot more reputable and glamorous than you even know at this point.
Wow.
Than you even know.
I'd probably have to
for a
put
lot
some
of
thought
people.
into that.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Okay, as we end out, a couple of other questions, and then we'll be done. You were at, I saw, as we end out, let's talk about INCITE.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I love
God
INCITE.
damn
Richie
it.
Cavalera. Fucking, those guys have been hammering it out. They're a heavy band. And you know, one of the things I respect about Richie is, like, he's never tried to leverage the fact that, oh, I'm Max Cavalera's stepson, or I'm Gloria Cavalera's son. He's never tried to use that to his advantage. He never puts that in his marketing. He's always just try to do it on his own.
His own, man.
Yeah, on his fucking own.
I could see that 1,000%. You're totally
Totally
right.
fucking, I
right.
see that. I'm gonna steal your beer.
Go for it. Tear it up, man. Yo, yeah.
But
Light it up.
correct me if I'm wrong. I think initially, when did you start playing with INCITE? When was the first time you started touring with them? Because initially, weren't you just like a live
Dude,
member?
Yeah. So it was last July. I had a small little window. I mean, a weekend of a window out of the year. They hit me up and they were like, "Yo, we want to come to Texas and do these shows with El Nino.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to be our fill-in guitar player for these 4 shows?" And they were sold out shows. You know, they were selling out. And,
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, guys, yeah, I'll learn y'all songs.
Send me the tracks."
Yeah, send me some songs. You know, and I said, I have illegal, because at that time I was busy with illegals. You know, I had illegal stuff, Pantera stuff going on. So it was like a small window, and like I say, I gave 1,000% to those guys. Even in that one weekend, I gave them everything I learned. And after that weekend, I got to know the guys, and they were like, "Mike, you could have just come in and just been some dude learning these songs, but you really came in and you gave it your all. And I said, what else would I do? I said, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna play all songs as best as I can. We played those 4 shows, and literally that Sunday night, they dropped me off at the airport in Lubbock, Texas. Monday morning, I landed in New Orleans, and I had a week of Pantera practice right into a festival with Night Ranger. I mean, it was busy, busy, busy. So I went from Incite to Pantera in a matter of a week. And so I did those 4 shows. One thing led to another, and they asked me if I wanted to join full time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, pretty ecstatic about it, man. I was like, of course, because these guys are busy. They're road dogs. And with the Illegals kind of having some open time, I said, I got to stay busy. I can't just be, not touring, And Flesh Hoarder is obviously staying busy, but I really wanted to stay busier, So I took on the Incite gig, and now we're doing that full throttle. And we got some huge announcements coming up this week. Big announcements, man. So I honestly can't wait to make the news and spread the news. But it's
what wasn't one of those announcements that was kind of cool was that the band had signed with Des Ferrara's management, the
Huge.
Oracle management.
Yes.
That's pretty big because I know Des is really working on his management company, and obviously he wants to work with bands who are badass. He's been around for a long time. So for him to sign Incite was a big thing.
It was a big thing, and it was a big deal for the band. And me being the new cat, kind of seeing where the guys were at mentally and everything, and seeing how excited they were about that, it made me even more
it's
excited.
Open doors, dude.
And Des and Oracle Management are managing bands like Ginger right now, who's a really big band. Suicide Silence, Cradle of Filth. I love those guys. So he's definitely got
Those
a
are
great,
big bands, yeah.
good roster.
He's got connections. He's got a network.
Definitely, and that's what we're doing. And we couldn't be more excited. We have a very busy future. Got some, like I said, some big stuff on the way. And and obviously Richie is Max's kiddo, so I'm getting to see Max a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which is, a fucking treat for a cat that, metal
Grew up
heads.
on
Yeah.
Soulfly and
Grew up on
Sepultura and
Sepultura and
shit.
Soulfly, Cavalera Conspiracy,
Beneath the Remains and all
Nail
that
Bomb,
shit.
all the bands,
Don't get me Rise. Don't get me started.
Oh man, so being able to be around the Cavalera family and Richie and the crew, the tribe, as they say, has been very humbling.
Yeah.
Even that much more, and just metal as fuck, as Max would say.
Yeah.
So it's all positive, it's all good, and it's all metal, man. I love it.
And just to kind of prop Incite and all the work that they're doing right now on the road, the band released their latest record called Wake Up Dead. It came out on April 8th this year. So that's what they're supporting. For all you people out there who have not yet jammed Incite, go ahead and look for it at your favorite music media outlet and download it and jam it. And Mike was telling me off camera that the next Incite record is going to be brutal because you're going to fucking be on it and throwing down.
I'll be able to start adding my Texas touch.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And before I joined the band right at Christmas time, and I wrote them 2 songs as a Christmas present.
Oh, God.
I said, here you go, guys. I wrote them out of nowhere. I wrote 2 songs, tracked them, and I said, Merry Christmas. Here's a couple of songs to start the next chapter. Here you guys go.
Is the vibe.
And I'm going to learn y'all's new album. And here's stuff to continue on.
There's not another guitar player, right? It's just you?
It's just me, man.
Yeah.
I'm having to do it all. Solos, rhythm. It's a lot of fun,
You're
man.
fucking the bass player in that band. What's his name?
Oh, L.
He's a big,
He's a
scary guy,
yeah,
is he?
He's my big brother, L.
Really?
He's a teddy bear, but he looks like a biker out of
He
hell.
looks like
dude.
a crazy mofo. I don't want to meet
dude,
him.
man. And it's been, like I said, I'm the new guy.
What's his name?
L. His name's Christopher.
Al? A-L?
E-L.
Oh, L.
L, yeah. So,
all right, let me write that down.
Yeah, he's the coolest. All the guys in the band, Lyndon, L, and Richie, and me, Incite. Check it out, man. It's American fucking metal, and groove, and it has every little bit of everything, man. So I'm really amped for the future, and it's looking good, man. It's looking good. I can't.
I know
wait.
all you guys like to smoke weed, though.
Oh yeah, huge weed heads. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Mike, as we end out, you didn't steal my thunder because you really didn't respond to this question, but I know that you just got married at the beginning of the year. And, we were talking personal stuff behind the scenes tonight. And I was telling you a little bit about my life, and you were sharing too. And, when we think about marriage and if you marry someone that has kids, it's just part of life, man. How do you kind of feel? I mean, because I've been a single guy in the metal world. How does it kind of feel for you? What comfort has marriage brought to you in your life and the life that you lead? And obviously, I would think, when you met your wife, or I don't know how long you dated her, but now that you're married, I mean, she knows you're a working musician. She has to, I would assume she has to support you in your endeavors. And so how has that kind of brought some serenity to you, or has it?
Oh, it definitely has, man. Honestly, and I say to each their own. Guys do their thing. Everybody does their thing. Me, my story, having my wife in my corner has been the biggest support. I can go out and do my thing. Communication is 100% right there. Trust is right there. I got my kiddos, my boys. So I tried to lead the right path. I don't want to steer off that path because I don't want to lose what I got.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to be able to go see the world and play fucking metal. But at the end of the day, I also want to be able to come home and lay in my bed next to my woman without any
secrets.
Any secrets or any trust issues, blah, blah, blah. She's there for me. She's awesome. She's in my corner.
Is she from San Marcos too?
She's from San Marcos.
Yeah.
And what's cool about my wife is that we used to be in bands together. We used to play shows.
What the hell?
She used to be in a band called The Monk, and I was in Disfigured, and us and The
What
Monk.
did she do?
She was a singer, and she was a keyboardist.
Wow.
And then we used to do Sepultura covers and shit. It was sick. And I always thought she was a beautiful girl. As we played shows.
I'm not going to say your wife's hot.
You know what I mean? Aye. But it's great having her there.
That's cool, man.
In my corner. And honestly, it's I tell anybody in a relationship, communication. Talk. Be open with one another. Don't hide anything from one another. And everything's going to be all right. You know what I mean? Show
brings
love.
More focus into your life.
Yeah, show each other love, be honest, and just be cool. You know what I mean? That's how I am with anybody. But obviously, my wife is my wife. And
right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But, just be cool and respect one another. You know what I mean?
For
sure. Support each other.
Mike, what a beautiful fucking interview. I think it's been almost 2 hours, and it's okay.
Totally cool, man.
Totally cool.
We could talk another 2 hours.
We're going to talk more after we finish recording.
Yeah.
We got a little
something.
A little something for us.
Yes.
Okay, Mike. As we end out, any last words? Anything you want to share or say to your fans, to your friends, to your family, and the entire world who will watch this interview? Tell them.
Woo! All right. First off, let me start with the man, Rob, and Rob's MetalWorks. First and foremost, man, for bringing me into the studio here. Like I said, it's been a really long time coming. So I definitely want to show some appreciation and thank you and support for that.
You're welcome, sir.
I can't wait to see the interview when it's done.
Oh,
man.
God.
To all my fans, fuck, you guys rule. And always know from the bottom of my metal heart that I am in your corner and I got your back as much as you got mine. To all my bandmates, I fucking love all you guys. Y'all know it. I miss every single one of you guys, even if I see you tomorrow. And to my family, y'all know I'll be home in a little bit. I love you guys. And thank y'all for always supporting me, my boys, my daughter, my family. And thanks again to everybody. Thanks to Texas. Thanks to Metal. and thanks to the world for supporting metal. I really hope to see everybody around this big globe. I have so many friends around there. I hope to see everybody soon, and thanks again, and cheers to everybody out there, man.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
sir.
having me, brother.
What an honor. What an
Yeah.
honor. What an honor, and what a beautiful person that you are. I hope that, you know, when you have free time, that you'll call me and say, Rob, let's hang out in your studio and jam some music. And
We'll have to make it back up, man.
and
Go
have
have
some
some
fucking
tacos
fun.
somewhere down the
yeah,
street.
brother.
Man, for sure.
I'd love to do that, man.
I'll be down.
Remember, everyone out there, oh man, we covered so much ground tonight. Go back and look at it all, from Phil Anselmo the Illegals to touring with INCITE to some of the old vintage stuff with Disfigured. Be sure to look for that stuff. Remember, you saw the man Mike Deleon only right here on Rob's Metalworks.